to our voices. Hello to our voices. Hello to our voices. It's good to be here with you. Let's say hello to Tank. Hello to Tank. Hi, Tank. Hello to Tank. Hello to Tank. It's good to be here with you. Let's say hello to ourselves. Hello to myself. Hello to myself. Hello to myself. It's good to be here with you. And let's say hello to the sun. Hello to the sun. Hello to the sun. Hello to the sun. It's good to be here with you. Hello to my friends. Hello to my friends. Hello to my friends. It's good to be here with you. I'm glad I'm here with you. Hello friends, it's good to be here with you today. Set to the side. All right, let's do our Days of the Week song. Days of the week. 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 There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. And then there's Saturday. Days of the week. 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 Yay! Good to be here with you today. Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, April 21st. So when we have a 1, we say st afterwards. Usually it's a th, but this one's a st. Today is Tuesday, April the 21st. Yesterday was Monday, April the 20th. Today is Tuesday, April 21st. Tomorrow is Wednesday, April 22nd. Wiggle your fingers if you guys said that. Nice job. All right, since it's Tuesday, Tuesday begins with the letter T. T is for Tuesday. T is for transportation. T is for travel. And the second letter in Tuesday is a letter U. U is another vowel. U is a letter that can make an like underwear, and it can also make a U sound like unicorn. T is for Tuesday. U is for unicorn. U. U is for underwear. Nice. Well, I have my silly socks on today. These are kind of light ones. It's kind of hard to see them. Let's see if I come close to you. They're piggies. Piggies. They're little piggies. And Tank has his wings on today. Again, he didn't want any socks on today, so of course I wouldn't make him put something on his body he doesn't want. One of the things that I thought maybe we should just start with today is, since it's transportation and travel, let's just start with the brain dance. Let's just get our bodies used to moving. So I'm going to open this up and make it a little bit bigger so you can watch me dancing. And we're going to put on some nice sounds of nature while we're doing our brain dance today. Here we go. All right. Ooh, that's a little loud. There we go. Okay. So let's start with breath. Right, core distal. I'm going to do this one on the ground this time. I think there's room for it. Beautiful. You can do head tail on the ground too. Side to side. And roll over here. Do our head and tail. Nice. All right, let's do our top, bottom, right, left. Bottoms are planted. Sway, 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 sway. Slice, push, push. Make our top strong. Do our bottom. Swing, swing. Kick, 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 kick. March, march. Push, flap, 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 flap. All right, let's do right side, left side. Right side down, left side moving, same the other side. Nice job, guys. Your brain feel like it's up and ready to be moving and thinking and grooving. Hooray! I love it when my brain feels like it's been activated. Let's see if I can squeeze us in again. There we go. Perfect. All right, we did our brain dance. Now we're going to talk about travel and transportation. And I thought we could do I still have it marked? I missed the markings. Oh my goodness, we might just do the Tetons today. I was going to do 2 national parks today that start, oh, I found it. That start with the letter T. Since it's about travel and transportation on a Tuesday. Okay. The first one we're going to talk about is dry tortugas. Wait a minute. Let's get that picture for you. There we go. That is a picture of the lighthouse there. Beep, 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 beep. Dry Tortugas National Park. So, this is actually a national park now, but it used to be a fort. White seaplanes bob gently on the shores of a 19th century fortress, 70 miles southwest of Key West. All right, let's get that map back out again. Find out where. There was a map in here. Oh, where did that map go? Here it is. Here it is. Down here. Key West is in Florida. The panhandle here, way down there. And then look, not the handle, sorry. Down here. And then way out here on this island. Dry Tortugas. And I might be saying that wrong. Somebody look it up for me and see if I'm saying that right. But yeah, so it was the 50th national park, and it's in Florida, which is the Sunshine State. And the best time of year to visit it is year-round. The temperatures range from the mid-80s to the low 50s. In April and May, visitation's at its peak. And did you know The only way to get to this island is by boat or seaplane. If you travel by boat from Key West, Florida, it takes about 3 hours. And if you travel by plane, it's about 45 minutes. And they have lots of sea turtles there. Look at that. And this is a picture of what it looks like. No reflection. There you go. All right, here's another one. Grand Teton. I was here when I was 14, I think. Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. Just south of Yellowstone National Park, a lofty mountain range rises from the flat Wyoming plains. No foothills impede the view. The lonely granite gray peaks of the Tetons dominate the skyline, mirrored by glacial lakes at their exposed base. Grand Tetons National Park in Wyoming was the 17th national park created. It was established in 1929, and Wyoming is called the Equality State. The best time of year to visit it is early fall when the weather is comfortable. Crowds are small and the elk are abundant, and the males bugle to attract females. Wiggle your fingers if you've ever heard an elk bugling. It's really cool sounding. Did you know you have to be careful driving in the park because moose, elk, bison, and mule deer often use the roads as corridors, so they're walking on the roads too. And when you're there, you can look for beavers near lakes and rivers. And I'm going to give you an up close so you can see some of the beauty of the land there. And this is an illustration that's drawn of the park. And I remember the Teton Mountain Range. It's so beautiful. And this actually has a very long story to it. So they were trying to make it into a national park. And actually the billionaire Rockefeller Jr., John D. Rockefeller Jr., tried to set aside the Tetons as a national park, and he tried to buy up a lot of the land around it. But the locals didn't like it. And so the locals got upset, and it took a long time, but eventually it got made into a national park. Inspiration Point, Jenny Lake, Amphitheater Lake, and Signal Mountains, the Snake River, and Jackson Lake are just a few of the highlights there. Look some of those up today, and you can learn a little bit more about Grand Tetons National Park in Wyoming, and it's right near Yellowstone. So we should look up Yellowstone next time we look at our maps too. Oh, and I didn't show you a map of Wyoming. For those of you who are in Colorado, you'll find it pretty close to us. Here's Colorado, and Wyoming is just above us here, and Grand Tetons is up towards the northwestern part of Wyoming, and Yellowstone's right above it. Ta-da! All right, we got to travel to some national parks today. One of the next things we're going to talk about is I'm going to give you an art project here. One art project for you guys to do today, should you choose to accept the mission, is to make a collage. Wiggle your fingers if you've ever heard of a collage before. Yeah, a collage is a mixture of pictures that you can draw or cut out from magazines and then paste them together. And this collage, look at that one, this person made a collage of space and the mountains and the lakes. And the reason I have these collages on here is that I want you to make a collage today of places that you like to visit, whether it be natural places like the oceans or animals, like you want to go visit Africa someday and see a lion, or whether like here somebody likes watermelon. Yeah, so they put watermelon in there. They wanted to go to a farm to visit watermelon. Someone wanted to visit the moon, so they had a picture of an astronaut up there. Whoopsie. And here's another one where people just made a collage of all the different animals they like and all the different locations that those animals lived. That's another idea for you to make of a collage. And this one was very interesting. This person made a collage not of pictures they cut up from newspapers and not of pictures they drew and put together, but they went out and collected some sand from the place that they like and some beach shells from the place that they liked and some pretty glass green things from their garden, and they put those together in a collage. So you can do that when you guys make a collage today of all the different things that you enjoy, all the places you want to visit or that you like to visit and you visited before and you're not getting to visit right now and you miss. And if you want to make a collage of things that you have in your backyard, you can either take pictures of those and print them out and cut those out, or you can just take little samples of it, like some wood chips or maybe one blade of grass, and make a collage of that. So your homework today is to make a collage of places that you like to visit or go. All right, we're going to start with a song because we're going to study today how seeds travel and how the process of photosynthesis and the parts of a plant in honor of Earth Day week. And yeah, so we're going to start by singing a song called Flowers, Leaves, Stems, and Roots. Should we start with that? Actually, I'm going to show you this picture first, and then we'll sing the song. So this picture talks about each of the parts. You've got the flower. Here we go. The flower is the part of the plant that is needed for reproduction. It contains pollen and eggs, which will make seeds to make new plants. And that's the part where you'll see bees collecting the pollen. Then the next part right here are the leaves. Leaves are required for nutrition. A process called photosynthesis creates food for the plant there. Wiggle your fingers if you've ever heard of photosynthesis. Here is a little picture about photosynthesis. It's a little small, so I'm going to make it a little bigger for you just so you can see the picture. So, photosynthesis includes the sun. The sun gives energy to the plant. And then carbon dioxide comes from the air. That's what we exhale, is carbon dioxide. And then the plants soak that up, and they get rain. And then the water is absorbed through the roots and soaks up through the plant. And then the water and the nutrients are soaked up, and the leaves create sugar to give nutrients to the plant. And then oxygen, when the plant is finished, is released, and that helps us to breathe. Plants use their energy from sunlight to turn carbon dioxide, which is what we breathe out and is present in the air, and water into sugar and food for the plant. This process is called photosynthesis. The green color of the leaves, called chlorophyll, helps them to make food for the plant. So that's what happens. We have the flower and we have the leaves, and photosynthesis happens with the leaves. And then we have the stem of the plant. Can anyone find the stem of this plant? Yeah, right there, that long stalk, the place that you pick when you pick the plant. The stem holds the plant upright and also helps move it towards the sunlight. It also transports food and water around the plant. So when the roots here soak up the water and the nutrients, they travel up the stem like a big straw. You know, you can also do an experiment if you put food coloring into water and you have a flower with like white petals. You can watch the flowers soak up the coloring of the food coloring and turn the petals a different color. Roots. Roots soak up water and nutrients from the soil. They also anchor the plant in the ground so that it doesn't blow over. Da 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 da. And those are the parts of a plant: flowers, leaves, stems, and roots. So we're going to sing a song about that. It's called Flowers, Leaves, Stems, and Roots. Now, some of you guys may recognize this. It's kind of like our head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Except plants don't have head, shoulders, knees, and toes. They have flowers, leaves, stems, and roots. Stems and roots. Yeah, so we're going to sing that. Flowers, and then we have the leaves, we have the stems, and the roots. So plant those roots, and we're going to sing. Here we go. Flowers, leaves, stems, and roots. roots, stems and roots. These are all the parts of a plant. Flowers, leaves, stems and roots, stems and roots. Nice job, guys. Flowers, leaves, stems, and roots. Those are the parts of a plant. Now, there's a few extra parts of a plant for those of you who are a little older. And I'm going to show you. Whoopsie. Ta-da! Here we go. We have the stamen. Do you see where it? And the pistil. We have a petal of the plant. We have the anther of the plant, just like that little top parts, the little ones. The stigma of the plant right in the middle. And the style is like the little sticks that are holding it up. And the ovary of a plant, which is where it holds the eggs. And the sepal of the plants are like the little petals. They almost look like petals, the pink petals, but they're not. They're the green part that are underneath the sepal of the plant. Anther, filament, stigma, style, ovary, sepal, petal, stamen, and pistil. Those are all things you can learn about a plant. Ta-ta-da! The pistil is the middle part here, and that includes the stigma and the style. And the stamen parts are the outer parts, which include the anther and the filament. So you guys can look that up if you want to learn more about the parts of a plant. Now I'm going to put this away so that we can study another thing about plants that I'm very excited about. Here we go. Boo, boo, boo. There are several phases of a plant's life cycle. Oh, I think I actually brought that on here. I messed that up. You guys are doing very patient. You're waiting very patiently. I appreciate that. Oh, I didn't take a picture of it. Oh, bummer. So, I'm just going to bring this over and read it, and I'll let you watch me. I can't believe I didn't take a picture of it. I meant to take a picture of it. So, this is going to teach us how different seeds travel through space. There are different phases of a plant's life. The phase 1 is planting the seed. So let's get your seed bag and we're going to plant the seed. Shh. Shh. You guys plant seeds while I'm talking. You ready? I want you to plant 20 seeds. When a seed starts to grow, we say it germinates. Not a germ like, ew, germ, but germinate, which means start to grow. The cuddledens store food for the baby plant inside the seed. And when the seed starts to germinate, the first thing that grows is its main root. The seed's growing conditions usually need to be damp, warm, and dark, like springtime soil. A dry seed will stay dormant until it soaks in some water, and then it will start to germinate. Phase 2, you're done planting now, you ready? Now we're going to develop roots and sprout. So just like our feet were the roots in this song and the sprout is growing up, your job now is to root your feet in something, maybe under a blanket, get it nice and rooted under a blanket, and then slowly start to sprout. The second phase of the plant life cycle is the plant begins to grow roots and sprout leaves and stem. Roots are an essential part of the plant life cycle. Without roots, there would be no way for the plant to absorb water and get it up to the leaves. Many roots are located underground, but some can be above ground, and like we learned, the leaves are used for photosynthesis. There are 3 different types of roots: tap roots, fibrous roots, and prop roots. Each has its own purpose. Your job, if you're interested, is looking up what the 3 different types of roots are and how they grow. So that's phase 2. You guys grow up into a plant. Did you get your sprouts? Good. Phase 3 are the stems, the leaves, and transpiration. So now that you're grown, your job is to make sure your stem stays nice and strong. So make sure that stem is strong and make sure those leaves are there doing photosynthesis. And we're going to learn a little bit. You ready? All plants have stems. The main stem holds up the plant and carries water throughout the plant. And then there are secondary stems, kind of like our arms would be, that the leaves grow out of, and they come out of the main stem. Green leaves are responsible for making the plant's food. green substance that makes it green. It works with the sun to help carbon dioxide and water combine to make food for the plant. Plants pull water upwards through the soil. This is called transpiration. So that's your job now. You ready? Your feet are rooted in your blanket. Your stems are nice and strong, and you have your leaves. Now transpiration. You ready? We're going to make the transpiration process of the water to come up through the stems and to the leaves. So make your transpiration process. Transpiration, transpiration, transpiration. Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis of these leaves that are using the sunlight and the nutrients in the water to create fuel and food for the plant. So transpiration, 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 photosynthesis. Yeah, nice job, guys. You're learning the stages of a plant's life. All right, phase 4 of the plant life cycle. Flowers and fruit. So we get to make our flowers and our fruits. So make your body have lots of flowers and fruits up here. Most garden plants have flowers at some point during their life cycle. Flowers developed as a way to attract insects. So everybody be your favorite insect. Bzz, if it's a bee, bzz, or another insect, go be your favorite insect. Fly around and be your favorite insect. Some flowers, or bug. Some flowers adapted for pollination for birds and even bats. And most flowers depend on wind to scatter the pollen. Flower pollen provides food for insects, especially bees, and is often produced in great quantities, and the nectar attracts the insects to the flower, over to the flower, which guarantees that the pollen is carried away. And when they carry it away, then some pollen can rub off onto the pistils of another flower. And plants would not be able to produce seeds or make new plants if it weren't for these insect helpers carrying this pollen from one plant to the next, or carrying the nectar from one plant to the next. All right, phase 5 is scattering the seeds. This is what's about transportation, not transpiration or photosynthesis, but transportation. So here we go. Scatter the seeds. There are many different ways a seed travels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 ways. Can you think of one? How can seeds travel? Have any of you said the wind? Yeah. How many of you guys have seen a maple? A maple whirlybird. Yeah, so let's all be our maple whirlybirds. And travel. Or like a dandelion tuft, when you pick it up and you go, and the wind carries the tuft across. So that's one way seeds travel, is by blowing in the wind. Let's all blow in the wind like a seed, whether it be a whirlybird maple seed, or whether it be a dandelion tuft seed flying around. Yes, the wind can scatter it. That's one way a seed travels. A second way a seed travels. Birds carry it. So let's be birds. I got my wings on. We're going to be birds. And the seed sticks to my wing. And I fly, 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 and then it falls off somewhere else. Or I carry it in my beak. I'm going to fly, I'm going to fly, I'm going to fly. So let's be birds carrying the seeds. The first way a seed travels is the wind. The second way a seed travels is through birds. The third way a seed can travel. This is an interesting one. It floats on the water. Whoopsie, Tank's wings fell off. Hey, buddy. Yeah. Are you going to stretch? It can float on the water. Wiggle your fingers if you guys have ever eaten a coconut. Yeah, it has a big shell, and it floats, and it bobbles and bubbles, and then it can float on the water. So let's all pretend that we're coconuts bobbing in the water. That's a third way a seed can travel, is through water. A fourth way, oh, this is a fun one. I don't want Tank to get scared. Oh, good, I'm glad he's there. He's going to play with this toy. The fourth way a seed can travel, are you ready? Let's get the ball. Exploding! There are some seeds, like snapdragon seeds, that the way that they travel through space is when they're ready to pollinate, they explode! So you guys, you ready? We're going to be exploding seeds to travel through space. Explode! 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 Whew! Whew! Nice job. So that's the fourth way way to travel through space is exploding. And the fifth way to travel through space, Tank kind of demonstrated it actually. Seeds like burdock seeds are like little things that have sticky stickies on them, and they stick to animals' furs. So when the animal walks around, it collects the seed, and then walks for a nice long walk, and then it peels the seed and goes and picks it out of them, and then the seed lands on the ground and can plant there. So let's be animals, just like Tank was. We're going to walk around, maybe we can stretch like Tank did. We're going to walk around and help these seeds travel. Ta-da! All right, so the 5 ways seeds can travel. The wind, birds, 3, floating on the water like a coconut, 4, exploding pods, and 5, hitchhiking a ride on animals and people. And those are all the ways that seeds can travel and scatter and form new plants and start the whole life cycle of a plant all over again. All right, I want to read a book to you, but I think that maybe, we did a lot of talking here. I think maybe we should sing another song. Let's sing a song about, what do you think? We can sing How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? Tank likes that one. You want to come over and sing it with us? You want to stay there? All right, we'll sing How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? You ready? How much is that doggy in the window? Woof, woof. The one with the waggly tail. Woof, woof. How much is that doggy in the window? Woof, woof. I do hope that doggy's for sale. Woof, woof. Yay, good job, Tank. Yeah, he's doing some kisses. All right, let's read a book called Old Turtle and the Broken Truth. Move your fingers if you've ever heard of this book. I love this book in honor of Earth Day. It's not quite Earth Day yet. Tomorrow is Earth Day. But since we're talking about travel, and turtles travel really slow, and because we're also talking about plants, and because we're talking about Earth Day stuff, I thought this would be a good book. There we go. Old Turtle and the Broken Truth. A story by Douglas Wood. Watercolors by John J. Muth. Look at those watercolors. Vibrant. Old Turtle and the Broken Truth. There's Turtle. To all who seek truths and who listen to the language of breezes and turtles. Douglas Wood. Once, in a beautiful faraway land that was, somehow, not so very far. A land where every stone was a teacher, and every breeze a language, where every lake was a mirror, and every tree a ladder to the stars. Into this far and lovely land there fell a truth. It streaked down from the stars, trailing a tail as long as the sky, but as it fell it broke. One of the pieces blazed off through the night sky, and the other fell to earth in the beautiful land. In the morning, Crow found the fallen piece. Caw, caw. It seemed to be a sort of a stone, shiny and pleasing to his eye. He picked it up. Caw, this is a lovely truth, said Crow. Caw, I will keep it. And he carried it away. But after he had held it for a while and examined it closely, Crow said, this truth does not feel quite right. A part of it is missing. I will look for a whole one. He flew off and dropped it to the ground. Other creatures who liked shiny things soon noticed the truth as well. Fox, coyote, raccoon, each picked it up and carried it a while.
But they, too, found that it had rough edges and was difficult to carry, and its sparkle soon lost its appeal. "We do not need this broken truth," they said. "We will find a whole one." Butterfly and Bear also discovered the truth, drawn by its sweetness, but each found that it left a bitter taste after all. There's something missing in this truth, they thought, and they left it alone. After a while, none of the creatures even noticed the broken truth anymore, and it lay on the ground, forgotten. Then a human being found it. He was walking slowly, listening to breezes, gazing at beauties above and below and all around him, when he found the broken truth. On it was writing, and the writing said, "You are loved." The man held it carefully, thinking it was the loveliest thing he had ever seen. He tucked the broken truth into a safe place and kept it. Sometimes he would take it out and admire it, and the truth sparkled just for him, and he whispered its message to him alone, and the man thought he had never felt so proud and so happy. The man took the wonderful truth to his people, to those who lived with him, who spoke as he spoke, and dressed as he dressed, and whose faces looked like his, and together they cherished their newfound truth and believed in it. They hugged it to themselves, and it became their most important possession. After a while, the man and his people did not hear the language of the breezes or the stones anymore, but only heard their truth. They did not see the mirrored beauty in the lakes or the ladders to the stars, but saw only their sparkling truth, and for them it was enough, and they called it the truth. The truth made the people feel good and proud and strong, but soon they also began to feel fear and even anger towards those who were not like themselves and did not share their truth. The other beings and the other people of the lovely land seemed less and less important, and the language of the breezes was hardly ever heard anymore. Time passed, and other people said, "We must have this great truth for ourselves, for with it comes happiness and power." Many battles were fought, and the broken truth was won and lost, over and over again. But such was its power and beauty that no one ever doubted it, and when they were without it, they felt great emptiness where their truth had been. The stones and trees suffered, the breezes and waters suffered, as did the animals and the earth, and most of all, the people suffered. Finally, the animals went to Old Turtle, ancient and wise as the mountain and seas themselves. Crow and Fox went, Coyote went, Raccoon, Butterfly, Bear, and many others. All went to see Old Turtle. "This truth, the people quarrel over," they say. "We have all held it ourselves. It is broken and does not work. Please tell the people." "I am sorry," answered Old Turtle, "but the people will not listen. They are not yet ready." And the suffering continued. Until, one day, a little girl came to find Old Turtle. She had traveled very far, had crossed the mountains of imagining and the river of wondering why, had found her way through the forest of finding out, and when she had grown tired, she had ridden on the backs of animals or the wings of birds, and they had helped her find her way. Finally, they had come to a great hill in the very center of the world. From there, the little girl thought she had never seen so far or so much beauty. But when she saw Old Turtle, she could hardly speak. She simply looked with eyes full of wonder. "Why have you come so far to find Why have you come so far to find me, little one?" asked Old Turtle. Her voice rumbled like faraway thunder, but was soft as the breeze through a caterpillar's whiskers. I wanted to ask a question," answered Little Girl. "Where I live, the earth is sore, and the people are suffering. Battles are fought over and over again. People say it has always been this way and will never change. Can it change, Old Turtle? Can we make it change? Old Turtle spoke. The world you describe is not the world that has always been, little one. Then Old Turtle told of how the people had found the broken truth and the suffering it had caused. It is because it is so close to a great whole truth that it has such beauty, and that the people love it so, said Old Turtle. It is the lost portion of that broken truth that the people need if the world is to be made whole again. But where is the missing piece? Asked the little girl. Can we put the truth back together again? First, my child, said Old Turtle, remember that there are truths all around us and within us. They twinkle in the night sky and bloom upon the earth. They fall upon us every day, silent as the snow and gentle as the rain. The people, clutching their one truth, forget that it is a part of all the small and lovely truths of life. They no longer see these truths, no longer hear them. But perhaps, little one, you can. I'll try, said the little girl. And she thought once more of her long journey. She looked upon all the beauty that surrounded her, from the far hills to the flowers beneath her feet. She saw the movement of clouds and the soaring of birds and the dancing of light upon the green and living earth. She heard the whispering of a breeze. And gradually a feeling came over her as though all the world were made of truths, as if the world had been made just for her and she had been made just for it. And she felt a secret smile somewhere deep inside and thought, perhaps she understood. She looked once again at Old Turtle, her eyes more filled with wonder than before. Old Turtle spoke again. Remember this also, little one, she said. The broken truth and life itself will be mended only when one person meets another. Someone from a different place or with a different face or different ways, and sees and hears herself. Only then will people know that every person, every being is important, and the world was made for each of us. For a long time then the two friends were quiet, high on their hill in the very center of the world. And in her heart the little girl thought she could see other people in other beautiful lands, people with their own ways, their own truths, people different from her own, but still, somehow, the people. Finally, little girl asked one more question. Old Turtle, how will the people learn these things? By seeking out those small and simple truths all around them, said Old Turtle. By listening once more to the language of breezes, by learning lessons from stones and animals and trees and stars, even turtles, she chuckled, and little girls. Now, little one, it is time for you to go, to return to your people, and to tell them what you have seen and learned, and to help them mend their broken truth. Take this with you, said Old Turtle, as she placed something in the little girl's hand. I have saved it for a very long time for someone just like you. The little girl looked at what Old Turtle had given her. It was a kind of a stone, a mysteriously beautiful stone. It was lovely to touch, and it made her feel good to hold it. She squeezed it tightly, then tucked it away for her journey. Thank you, Old Turtle, she said, and hugged her friend's great leathery neck. And then she started home. Once more, she traveled through the forest of finding out, crossed the river of wondering why, and the mountains of imagining. Crow, caw, caw, led the way, and again when the little girl grew tired, all her animal friends helped. She sometimes touched the stone Old Turtle had given her to renew her strength, and it took a long time, yet almost no time at all. And she was home. But it had been a very long journey, and those who take great journeys of the heart are changed. The people did not recognize her, and when she spoke, they did not understand. She told them of her journey, but the people could not follow her words. She spoke of a world made of small and gentle truths, of all peoples being one people, but they could not catch her meaning. She explained about the broken truth and the need to make it whole, but the people did not believe her and could not understand. Finally, Crow, seeing all that had happened, flew to the place high above the village where the great truth was kept, in a place where all could see it. He cawed and cawed and cawed in his loudest voice, and suddenly the little girl knew what she had to do. She climbed to the high place herself. She took Old Turtle's stone from her pocket and, carefully, adding the missing piece to the old broken one, the fit was perfect. You are loved, and so are they. The people looked and looked and looked. Some frowned, some smiled, some even laughed, and some cried, and they began to understand. Time passed, and upon the beautiful land the trees climbed like ladders to the stars, the waters shone like mirrors, and the people saw their beauty. A breeze stirred, and they heard its music. Tiny truths fell by day and night, gentle as the rain and snow, and the people found them and kept them in their hearts. And slowly, as the people met other people, different from themselves, they began to see themselves. And far away on a hill, in the very center of the world, Old Turtle smiled. I just love this story. It's called Old Turtle and the Broken Truth. We could probably leave it on that note today, because that's such a good story. But I thought I'd sing you one more song before heading out. These lyrics, I need a little bit of help sometimes. Little tree, the moon is high. Darkness covers the world tonight. From your tiny seed, I've watched you grow. Cradled in the earth, yes, so the earth will teach you all she knows. Little tree, don't be afraid. Dream your dream of making shade. If the wind blows strong, then learn to bend. If the fire burns, don't fear the end. Take joy in holding a nest for a friend. Little tree, the sun is here. There's a reason you were planted here. Though you may be weak and small today, may your roots grow deep so you may sway. You're of this world, this beautiful day. Have a great rest of your day, little trees. Make sure
sure to make those murals and do some research about the different ways that the plants grow and the plant's life cycle and the different parts of the plant. And I believe I gave you a homework assignment of the 3 different types of roots you can look up. And you can practice the 5 different ways that seeds can travel through space, through the atmosphere, or on Earth in order to plant itself in new places. Have a lovely day, little trees. Thank you.